Hi, it's Jesse, the founder of Max Fun, coming to you from the microphone at my home office where I am socially segregating. So we promised you a Max Fun drive this week, but things haven't exactly gone how we expected. So given the pandemic, we're going to postpone this year's drive. Events are still fluid, so we're hesitant to give you specifics about new dates. Right now, we have late April penciled into our calendars. We'll keep you posted about that. As it stands, a lot of our drive machinery was already cranked up. So for one thing, you might hear a reference or two to the drive in our shows, which might have been recorded before we made this decision. And here is some good news. There's a bunch of great bonus content available for all of our Max Fun members. If you're a member and you missed the email with instructions on how to listen, check your spam folder or log in at maximumfun.org/manage. Also at maximumfun.org/manage, you can change your membership if your circumstances have changed. We know this is a tough time for a lot of people, and we understand. You can also go to maximumfun.org/join at any time if you'd like to become a member. During the next couple of weeks, what would have been the drive, we're going to do our best to be extra available to you. We've got some streaming events planned, some social media stuff. We know a lot of folks are isolated right now, and we want to help provide comfort in the best ways that we know how. You can follow us on social media, and we'll let you know what's up. During this tough time, I have been feeling really grateful for my community of colleagues here at Max Fun and for you, the folks who make our work possible, goofy as that work may sometimes be. Stay safe out there. We're thinking of you.
Jackie and Laurie Jackie and Laurie It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh my God. This is going to be awful. The sound is horrible. We're on iPhones. We've tried many different things tonight to try to get a good sounding podcast. And I think we failed. So that's what we have.
But not for a lack of ideas.
No, we tried everything. I'm Lori and
I'm Jackie.
Yeah. And that's Kyle too.
Hey.
And we are in lockdown.
Kyle's a little echoey, but you're in New York.
Yes, I'm in New York. My last show was at 4:15 today. I did a brunch show at the Stand, and then I canceled the one set I had at the Broadway just because it felt really strange to be out. And I just started feeling like I was contributing to the problem, even though I was totally masked and gloved and I had wipes. And I mean, I wasn't touching anything or coughing on anyone or.
And you're healthy.
Yeah. And my routine when I come into the apartment is I immediately go wash my hands, do the 20-second very thorough hand washing. And then I take a Lysol wipe and I wipe down everything I touched on the way to the bathroom. So the front door and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I try to sterilize everything. And going out, I have a little routine. It's a fucking pain in the ass. It really is.
Yeah.
I got,
it's a pandemic.
Yeah. It's more than a pan in the ass. It's a pandemic. I got little mic covers. So I put a cover on a mic at the Stand one night, and then I would, just have wipes, and I would thoroughly wipe the mic stand, the cords, and then I still, as soon as I got off on stage, I would put the gloves back on so I wouldn't touch my face. And oh my God. And the flight out, I had a mask on. It's so uncomfortable. And then today I figured out I could use my the sleeping mask that you wear over your eyes. You can just lower it and put it over your mouth so that at least you don't touch your face.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
I've just kind of been try. I haven't been that thorough. I think you've been more thorough, and because I went out 10 days ago to Dayton.
Oh my God.
To do the funny bone, and so I have been essentially just kind of plugging along, trying not to panic.
Yeah.
And Dayton was lightly attended. That was annoying.
Right.
The thing that, quite honestly, I mean, so I did Dayton, and
well, the ramp up to coronavirus is happening as you were doing Dayton, right?
yes,
So it's not like that's the thing that sucks is just the first time you're at that club, and so
yes,
you don't want to have bad numbers, even though it was like, oh yeah, it's a coronavirus still.
right. It's a global event.
Yes.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
And so I didn't sell as much merch as I thought, and because I brought all of my new merch, and which is when I went out, it was 3 pieces of luggage.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so I broke it down to 2 on the way because I only had a few clothes. I did laundry, and it was fun. It was, it's always so. I will talk cheerfully about this irritant, which is or this learning curve, because the Dayton Funny Bone, I have to relearn. I've never played that market.
Yeah.
Right. Where I'm headlining, so I have to learn how to do the market and find because I do like to open with a local reference.
Sure.
If I'm closing, right? And sometimes even if I'm opening for Maria or whatever, but the reference was, I didn't find it till Friday, and I had Thursday shows. And so I did my best. But the Saturday shows were the best shows because I also went a little bit to the vault, and I was very resentful how well it went. I was like, you jackasses, I'm working on this new order for my album.
Yeah.
And then in between I went to Milwaukee, and I stayed at a Hampton Inn because my brother and his wife and his kids, she's a doctor and she's very intense, and they're like, we're gonna they self-quarantined a little over a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And Milwaukee didn't have any, or Wisconsin didn't have any outbreak but they did by the time I left. They had 4. And it was 2 in Madison and 1 in La Crosse and 1, I think, in Eau Claire or Fond du Lac, maybe. Whatever it was spread around Wisconsin. And then I had to go to the attic, and I kept waiting for the attic to cancel. And I didn't want to ask the attic to cancel.
Sure.
Because everything else canceled. Like I've lost a fair. That it's not. It's there's trouble. There's financial trouble, but it's not the worst. I have a prudent reserve, right?
Right.
And but and my brother Russ yesterday calls me. He's like, "So you losing money?" And he was much more supportive than that. He was much more. But I did say, one of the biggest problems is that I just spent $5,000 on brand new merch.
Oh.
2 new T-shirts, the challenge coin, and then I reordered. But this was months ago, and so it's already paid off. Spooky pins and meat shield pins.
Right.
But $5,000.
Yeah.
And my brother hilariously goes, "Oh, are they perishable?"
Oh my God.
I was like, hilarious jackassery.
I would say I love all vacations, but I would never go to a single one of you for therapy. Okay. Not a single one of you. I spent
most of the last 5 days talking people off the ledge. By the end of it, I literally had a small meltdown at Brad Wilhelm, who's the nicest guy in the world. Saturday, second show, he was talking to me, and he didn't need me to talk him off the ledge, but he was talking about the situation, and I had enough, right?
Yeah.
I I wanted to come home. I wanted to be in my house. I wanted to be with Andy.
Yeah.
I wanted all these things. And so he was talking to me about the situation. And I was like, I had a small meltdown where I was like, I don't think I can talk to you right now. And he was like, no problem. I'm going to back slowly away. He was super supportive. But I think I needed a pep talk by the end of the 4 days. And Carmen kept joking about how she was my therapy teacher.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, first of all, the Lisa Grigsby's old club in Dayton, Jokers, she used to have like a sign in the green room saying, okay, the strip club is Goldie's. The stripper that gave you herpes is, whatever. She just gave everyone a list, and you could tell how many hacks were working there, that they needed the list of, I was just at Goldie's last night. It's crazy.
For local references?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Local references. It was all,
that's outstanding.
It was all the same. Just assuming the headliners are going to do the same 10 minutes up front, basically,
Right.
But the Stand had the Saturday shows were combined into one show, and it was in the upstairs room, and there's maybe 20 people there. And I guess Friday had been packed, sold out shows, and things are moving so quickly. Like Saturday, social media kind of was like, all right, everyone stay in. And so from then on, it's been a super severe slide down in terms of audiences. And the Broadway had limited audience size, and they had moved the tables very far apart from each other. And they had different mics for each comic, so, I mean, everyone was kind of trying to mitigate, any sort of damages, I guess. But
the best way to do that is to sadly shut everything down for a month.
I know. It's awful.
It's brutal. But I will say this so we do a show. I did a show Thursday at the Attic.
Yeah,
and it was lightly attended, but it was fine. And Jared he gave everybody a wipe when they came in the door.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and they had disinfected everything. Brad, who was hosting, wiped down the mic in between us.
Yeah, that's good.
And then. By Friday, though, he was like, I'm not going to take too many reservations, even if there are any. I'm going to seat people checkerboard, right, with a table in between.
Sure, that's good.
And so I think I would say Friday first show. One of the Friday shows was the best show of the week, though Saturday second show was pretty fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is, have you been having this? You're like, this is the last time I'm going to get to do comedy. Very
nostalgic and very sad on stage. Yes.
Just a little twitchy.
Overwhelmed.
Because I'm just like, if I don't do stand-up comedy, I'm kind of insufferable. Just think how insufferable I am now.
Yeah, I'd like to say you're frequently insufferable when you're doing stand-up comedy. So we're headed into uncharted territories.
So 10 shows later, I'm already a piece of work. Just imagine what I'm going to be 14 days from now. So I tweeted a thing that said that I was going to buy a burner phone and I would call people if they Venmo'd me to work on my new hour. And,
why would you buy a burner phone for this?
Because I don't want to call them on my phone.
Oh, you mean strangers?
Yes. I already have a couple of fans who have my cell phone number.
Yeah.
They're both very respectful.
Right.
but I don't think I want to put it out there.
Right. No. So, very, very smart.
Yeah. But then, and then all of a sudden, I've gotten hundreds of people who are like, do it. And then there's some talk about Zoom. Have you heard of this program?
Yeah, everyone is downloading Zoom and starting a late night show. I've already warned my boss that every comedian is now gunning for him. Yes.
Yes. Right. Well, Maria was in New York on Friday to do Colbert.
Wow.
With no audience.
Wow.
It was her and Sanjay Gupta.
Oh, yeah, the doctor from CNN.
Yeah. And she got bumped. I think they aired it a different day. But they did record it. They just held it for air. I think they aired
I see.
Friday.
Was she a panelist, or did she do stand
She
up?
paneled.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that too. Sometimes we chop things up a little bit, but we usually do. We don't bump people. We usually plan that in advance, like we're shooting 2, extra guests or something like that for a different show. They're called cobblers, Jackie. We cobble them together.
Cobblers? Yeah, that's the shoe people. Well played.
Well, I know. I did have that feeling of are these clubs going to be able to withstand being down for a month or 2 or 6, like, since we don't know what's happening, and will some of them not be able to reopen? And that made me incredibly sad. I mean, I think some clubs are month to month a little bit, and I worry about them. And I mean, I did beforehand. There's some rooms you walk into, you're like, how are you guys how are you sustaining this? There's not many audiences members here. And so that's worrisome.
It's interesting when club owners have day jobs.
I know.
Which is also a real thing.
Definitely. Right? Yeah. A lot of them do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously all the support staff and the comics that are just, I'm sort of removed from the financial terror because I'm super lucky. But
right, because you've got the good writing job.
Yes.
Which lasts as long as it lasts as well. But,
yes, right. But
Carmen and I had a long conversation about how this, there's some saving, there's some prudent reserve. A lot of comics don't have that.
Right.
And because Carmen also lost her day job.
Oh my God.
She was working the door at the store.
Oh fuck, that's her day job?
Yeah.
Oh God.
And all of her road stuff got canceled for the next month.
Right. Ugh.
So, but I have thought that it's been amazing, the rallying of sort of some of the comics.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, if you need me to Venmo you a couple of bucks for rent.
Yeah. I Venmoed some money to people. I'm just kind of like looking to see who's posting, but I don't want to put a call out there because who knows what they
want it to get overwhelming.
No, but I was looking around and seeing who was posting that they needed cash,
Oh, right. And then just sort of sliding it into their Venmo DMs.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah.
Subtle.
I will do more of that. A woman who owns an independent bookstore just posted that she's probably going to go out of business, and but she was asking authors to maybe do like a workshop online that she could charge for, and so authors were signing up, and then I bought a book from her, and maybe there's like little things. If you still have income coming in, you can, seek out people that you don't even have to, you can buy something from them. You don't necessarily have to be a charity thing. You could, just continue their business. Yeah.
Oh my God. I got a call from the LA Times.
Yeah.
And he was like, we're just looking for how this is going to affect the comedy community. And I said, and I don't know when this is going to come. It might come out tomorrow, but or the day that this goes up. But I was like, this is very sweet of you to think of how it's going to affect the comedy community. But what about everybody?
Right.
Like everybody who gets, people talk, because there's so many people in the United States who work in the service industry.
Right.
And they live check to check. So,
yep.
We're all just going to have to sort of huddle together, but we're supposed to be 6 feet apart. And
well, the terrifying thing is federal government is fucking up big time. Some of the governors, or a lot of the governors, are stepping up, and it's becoming like a state thing where, Gavin Newsom's doing a great job. Cuomo's doing a great job. Inslee's doing a great job. Even the asshole running Ohio was like, all right, we're shutting everything down at 9 p.m. every night from here on out. So it's and then you have people living in Oklahoma where their governor is an anti-vaxxer and tweeted a picture of his family out at like a Red Lobster or something.
Did you see Devin Nunes?
Oh, what a fucking
His
piece
thing
of shit.
today was bananas. And then I saw Kai Ryssdal retweeted, there was some guy in Nashville. Did you see that thing about the Nashville?
Yeah.
It was like a bar.
Yeah,
and he goes,
saw.
Nashville's not scared. And Kai Ryssdal quote tweeted it and said, Nashville is an idiot.
Yeah, right.
So
no,
I was like, yeah, live a little defensively, dum-dum.
So no, someone tweeted downtown Nashville is undefeated, and then someone retweeted, like quote tweeted, narrator, the following week, downtown Nashville was defeated. All these people are dying.
Oh my God.
No, but I mean, I've been like knee deep in threads like from epidemiologists, and you know, we all are. It just seems you know,
I've actually not been because I've had to check out a little bit. I'm like, I will follow direction. That's what I'm going to do. You know, when I'm getting my sense of calm and sense of that these aren't the end times from Tom Hanks. Yeah. Who I don't know. I don't know Tom Hanks.
Right.
But it was really soothing to hear from him. And we should probably talk about how the Max Fun Drive isn't happening.
Well, it's postponed, right?
It's postponed for a second. And so, Kyle, you have to put I think Jordan did a special message. Did you get that email?
I don't know that I did.
All right. Well, you got to put a special message, and I'll make sure I forward that email to you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. That's good.
Because there was a Max Fun special message from Jordan about it.
Anybody got a ballpark on the time code on that?
That would be 2026.
2026.
On Jackie's recording.
I had a Laurie moment where I'm like, there's no way that's all it's been.
There's no way what?
I'm just joking.
Well, you're not going to put it there. You're going to put it at the beginning.
At the start or something?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The Max Fun, if there's promotion, you could put it where we were just talking about.
I don't know if they're doing promotion this week.
Yeah, maybe they're not doing promotion.
Guys, this is an exciting peek behind the curtain. And
but you know what this is? It's Clock Eater.
Yeah.
Because we're only at 21 minutes.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Well, were you doing Corona jokes this week?
No,
No,
I wasn't doing Corona jokes. I don't particularly write topical.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I was wiping down the mic, I felt I had to address it.
Right. Well, that's because you're really good at them. Did you really do Corona jokes?
Oh, yeah. No, I was able to weave it into wanting to kill my mother, which is a running theme of a lot of my jokes. So it all flows together.
One.
Yeah.
She had a joke, and it's a really nice throwaway line about the toilet paper rush.
Oh, right,
People
right.
lost their minds about the toilet paper, so it's a riff on that, and it worked really well.
Oh,
she killed all week.
You know what? I bet she did. I remember maybe a month ago, I had heard that there were toilet paper shortages in Hong Kong, and my mother has her diarrhea problem. So I have like over almost 100 rolls of toilet paper that I bought a while ago. I'm ready.
Yeah, back up. Get it back up.
I bought them online from this place called Who Gives a Crap. Did I tell you about them? Like they don't have any plastic in their packaging, so the toilet paper all comes wrapped in paper. It's great. It's really good for the environment, and they donate money to toilets or something. Or so people can have toilets.
You're part of the solution.
I really am.
Well, it's funny because my brother Russ was always like, where they make toilet paper? Right here in Wisconsin. We're not going to run out of it. And he's like, where they make sanitizer? Ohio. It's going to be fine. And I was like, okay, I need to plant my victory garden right now.
Really?
We have a lot of Swiss chard that's volunteer.
I keep thinking you say Swiss cheese, and I'm excited that you have a Swiss cheese garden. And then I remember that it's lettuce and I get sad.
Wow, you've just given lettuce a black eye. That's I hate lettuce. I love Swiss chard. So, yeah. So I'm going to stay in the house for the next 14 days to make sure I'm not part of the problem.
I'm supposed to leave on Wednesday. This is late on Sunday, so basically Monday. And that's the other thing. I know New York's about to shut down. The clubs are closed and everything's closing. I wonder if they're going to close the airport. And I don't want to panic, and I also don't want to get to JFK any earlier because of what I. But from what you see from all the international passengers coming in, it's got to be fucking teeming with coronavirus everywhere. So I'd rather that gets all cleared up and then go on Wednesday, when there's less people there, I hope. Or is everyone going to be fleeing New York City and trying to get on the last 3 planes that are leaving? I don't really know. It's such a strange time.
Well, it's surreal is what it is. But we just have to, what I liked at the airport today was that everybody was doing this. It was a little forced jocularity, but I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to be like, you are great. and because it was both of the airports that I went through, I flew from Indianapolis to Detroit and then Detroit to LAX. Bumped up both of them bumped up to first class.
Good.
I had the salmon. Anyway,
well, the other thing about first class is you're around fewer people. So it's, thank God we're saving the rich. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. We should eat the rich. It was so funny because when I went in and I'm at the window and the guy was wiping down his chair and his table meticulously with a cleanser wipe. Yeah. And he said, "Do you need one?" And I pulled my bag out. I'm like, "Nope. I got my own bag of scrubbing bubbles." That was all that was for sale in Dayton when I was there.
Wow. A little while ago, I went on, there's a website called senior.com. Okay. And I got some heavy duty, it's for old people. Or if you're living with an old person, I got some heavy duty germicidal wipes.
That's great.
I brought those when I went on the red eye to JetBlue. I had the face mask on and gloves. I had surgical gloves. Again, I have a lot of this stuff from having a kid and having my mom. My mom had a lot of, I don't know. I guess we have stuff from taking care of our dad too,
right.
So I have lots of plastic gloves that you use for surgery. And so I had some of those on and I wiped down my whole row, and I thought I had a row to myself, and the guy in front of me sat in the wrong row and he sat on my row. I was like, oh, fuck. Come on, JetBlue. But
on the way to Dayton, I had a dude who was beside himself that he thought that I was in his seat.
Oh, no.
And quite honestly, and I've been bumped up again, but I was like, I will occasionally sit in the wrong seat. I'll get the number wrong, or I rarely get the letter wrong. But so I just pulled out my thing, and he said that I was in the wrong seat because he was in the wrong seat, and a third guy was like, "You got to get out of my seat." And so he gets up, and this is on the way to Dayton, so this is 10 days ago. He gets up, and the other guy is like, "Take that bottle of water with you," which is first class. You get a free tiny bottle of water, right?
Yeah.
And the guy goes, he keeps ignoring him. And then Jackie Cation Medler, I said, "Dude, you got to take that water." And, and he goes, "I didn't touch it." But he was wrong twice as far as where he thought he was sitting.
Yeah.
And then he got mad that he was wrong twice. And we were all like, okay, everybody. Tempers are high.
This guy's a problem. I was in the green room at a club this week, and there was a comic who's I don't know. He was an older guy. I don't know him. He was just hanging out. He wasn't on the show, and he's just sitting in the green room, and he fucking open coughed 3 times. and
Like didn't cover his mouth?
yeah, just open and didn't even notice it. And I said, hey, do that to go in your elbow. You got a cough in your elbow. And he didn't even apologize or look like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You know, he just looked like irritated to be reminded. And then he walked out of the green room. I'm like, get out. Why are you in my space? Fucking creep.
Right. I need your spittle.
Yes. Yes.
I will say this about the enormous amount of washing of my hands is I'm not an unclean person, but boy, my hands are dirtier than I thought. And now they aren't, but
yeah.
But I think I've been living with dirtier hands than I thought for a million years. And, I'm not.
You know who has the best hand washing video is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets in there, and it's kind of charming. I find him charming, even though I keep reminding myself that he's a total psychopath. But I'm like, he fucked the maid. You know, like, okay, I have to recalibrate my head. But
I forgot about the maid. He had the affair with the maid.
Right.
Weird.
And she had a child, and the level of duplicity that he lived while the housekeeper had his baby and his wife had it's stunning that he was just able to live in that situation for a long time.
Wow. So many.
Yeah. Anyway, those are good hand washing videos.
Andy, you know how you could? Did you see that the thing that I think it was some government body put out where you could put in it was a generator to put the song to the directions of how to wash your hands. Did you see that meme or?
No, I tuned out very quickly of people singing to their hand washing. I couldn't stand it. And I didn't want to be part of it. So I stopped looking.
Right. It's just lyrics. You can put the lyrics to anything. So it was a fun game for people.
It's not a fun game. It's not a fun game.
It's a totally fun game. And Andy took the words from the Dune, the book itself is Fear is the Mind Killer. Do you remember that?
No, but this is an awful story. I already hate it. It's about hand washing songs. I think I've already stated my dislike of hand washing songs, and now you're adding in book lyrics from a book I've never heard of, and I will never read.
I thought it was funny, Jackie.
Thank you, Kyle.
I don't like it when you two team up against me.
She played the Dune card, Lori. She played the Dune card.
What I like is that Kyle has a mic. I will say this. It's time for our comic of the week.
Sure.
Woo.
So this week's comic is Retha Jones. Very funny LA comic. I just worked with her at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach a couple weeks ago. We were both on it. It was a show with not many audience members, and we were both exhausted.
That's always fun.
Yes, she's a super funny lady, and she works all around LA. You can find her on Twitter, and I think on Instagram as Ms. Is it MS? MS Retha, Reetha Jones.
It's actually just one E, Retha.
Oh, okay.
All right. It'll be in the notes for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone checks the notes? I think they don't.
I think they do.
Really? I think they listen when they drive out, and they just move on.
Well, maybe
get those fun out of context quotes that becomes a puzzle for what the episode might be about.
Right, because the tags make people go, ooh, what is that going to mean? and then if they, and some people actually do, I think, because we say the Twitter handle pretty quick, so I think that they do go to the notes for the Twitter handle.
Okay.
It's just an opinion. I don't know. What did I watch on the plane today? I watched Jumanji. That's what I watched, but not really. I watched it on mute with the captioning on.
You can't really give that movie too much attention.
Right. I was also reading a book while I was doing it. So
I finished Outlander today.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God. So good. So now the first 3 seasons are on Netflix, and then the second 2 are on Amazon. And Amazon is a thing where you can buy Starz, STARZ, that network that no one watches. Yeah. And it's like for $5 a month for 3 months. So I just had to remember to cancel it. But yeah, so that's my Netflix. That's my quarantine recommendation of the week, I guess.
Is Outlander. Andy watched all of Lock and Key, which is on Netflix, I believe.
What is it?
And it's horror. It's a horror, very funny, written by Stephen King. It was a comic book series, but it's Stephen King's son.
Yeah.
And Joe Hill. And he said it was really well done.
Okay.
So if people like scary, here's the thing about the comic. I couldn't even read the comic book at night. I had to read it during the day.
It's that scary?
But, yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was funny and it was really smart, but it was also super fucking chilling. So I needed to not read it right before I went to bed.
Yeah.
So, but and I guess it's very well done. They did the series well.
I still haven't finished reading Michelle McNamara's. Michelle?
Yeah.
That her last name's McNamara, right? The Golden State Killer book, because it's too scary for me.
Yeah. She was on the Dork Forest twice, and she terrified 3 times, actually, and she terrified me every time.
Oh, God.
They're making a documentary about her for HBO.
Yeah, I know. You told me that. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. They wanted clips from the Dork Forest, and I was trying to figure out what? Okay.
You're trying to get money, and you should get money.
Yeah.
Because it's
HBO.
HBO.
The Dork Forest doesn't exactly generate a great deal of income. Here's the weird thing is that I don't think there's going to be a Dork Forest. The Dork Forest will be late this week because I didn't have one in the can before I went. And then the world got really complicated, and I couldn't find someone to do an episode.
Yeah.
But I'm doing one tomorrow night. This night, it'll be Monday night with Guy Branum.
What are you guys talking about?
I think he wanted to talk about the Electoral College.
Oh, okay. You can preemptively name that episode "It's Fucked."
Well, here's the thing about Guy. Did you know that Guy Branum, if I am correct, got a full boat scholarship to the University of Minnesota Law School?
You know, did I tell you that I also heard that, the comic Tehran also had a scholarship, like a full ride to Georgetown or something? These comics with these fucking law degrees, and they go into the worst business in the world.
Geraldo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dayton Funny Bone, by the way, really fun. And what I loved was the staff, right? Because it's always a good sign when the staff is happy. And they were a happy bunch. But there were 29 photos of comics on the walls. 2 women.
Oh, God.
And 4 of the guys were dead.
Was one of the women Lucille Ball?
It was not. I didn't recognize. It was Beth Stelling because she's from there. Okay. And then the other woman, I have that thing where I don't recognize anyone. I didn't know that was Sarah Palin. I thought it might have been Tina Fey. So,
on the Masked Singer. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because I only saw a clip and it was tiny on my phone. Anyway, and I have that face thing, so I don't know who the other woman comic is. But the 4 dead, and it's not that Greg Giraldo and Mitch Hedberg and John Panette and aren't funny guys, and then a local guy named Pops. Anyway, but I'm just Pops. Anyway, but I was hoping that there's still more wall space. Sure.
I love.
And a lot of the pictures were super old and faded.
Oh yeah, Zany's Downtown is such a. They can't change it. It's such a classic. They have headshots going back to the 80s, and they're all in those old junky frames that were fine in the 80s. Like they have to leave it. They can't update it. But I love. There's always every scene as a local comic that's named something like Pops. And that comic never leaves the city, and they're beloved and hated with equal measure.
Yes. Did you ever work with or see Tim Cavanaugh's headshot from the early 90s, late 80s?
I know who he is, but I don't know that I can picture his headshot.
It was Lilliputian. He was all tied up and then he had army guys that were on top of his.
That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
It was the era when there were funny headshots. Remember?
You know what? And that era there never were funny headshots. It was the era of comics trying to make funny headshots. Yeah, they were always awful.
They were always awful, except for that was the closest one. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that's adorable. And then afterwards, I was like, I judged it.
Yeah.
That's what happened afterwards.
That's okay. Yeah. You're right to judge it. Now it's like female comics are all looking like gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like real fucking gorgeous.
Like knockouts. And,
yes.
And it's getting them work.
Yeah.
It used to be, I remember I was told in like 84, I mean, it was not a problem for me. Someone to say, hey, don't get too good looking. But and nobody said that I couldn't get too good looking. But I remember the first woman comic I met, I can't remember her name, but she just played through. It wasn't Vanda Michalowski. It was somebody before her because she was only there for one night. And she gave me one piece of advice. Remember, I'm in my first 8 months of doing stand-up comedy, but I'm doing it every night. Yeah. For that 8 months. And she said, I have one piece of advice for you. Always wear lipstick.
Oh, my God. Oh, wait. It wasn't Margaret Smith.
No, it was not Margaret Smith. It was because it was a woman I never ran into again. I think she was a New York comic.
Margaret Smith had a really funny joke about lipstick, but I can't remember. It's something about red lipstick. It was great. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. Do you remember the breakup purse joke?
No.
It was on one of her albums too, but I saw her do it live once, and I was so pleased. She would, whenever she breaks up, and at the time it was with a fella, she would bring a purse that was empty. She would break up with him and then say, I'm going to go use the restroom, and then never come back. It was super mean. I don't know if she really did it, but it was very.
She
very
could leave it on the chair, and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He wouldn't suspect her bolting. That's great. She used to have this. She had that joke about the white guy playing in a jazz band. You know that joke?
No.
Oh, she's like, I went to see a jazz band, and there was one white guy playing, and I'm botching this joke, and then and she goes, and I was watching them, and then they're all getting into it. All the musicians were getting into it, eyes closed. And then I saw the white guy peeking. I love that joke. That's such a great visual. A white guy going, am I doing this right?
How am I doing?
Yeah.
That's so, yeah, I'm so sorry that she doesn't. There's comics that was she a San Francisco comic?
No, she was in San Francisco a lot though, because I
think she was super popular there.
Yeah, she was, and they worked a lot. They worked a lot of women, so San Francisco did. So she was one of the few female headliners at that time. So she worked there a lot. I don't know where she went. I think my friend Cheryl has a poster of Cheryl. Margaret and Ellen DeGeneres, because they're all three on the same show. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really, really old poster from the 80s from a club, maybe from the Laugh Spot, one of the Laugh Spots, maybe the one in Houston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know where she went.
The last time I saw her was easily early 2000s, I think. So, who knows? It's like, where's Diane Ford?
Yeah, I don't know. Is she doing?
Might have retired.
Well, there's also people that sort of retire to cruise ships, which is another total decimated sector of comics right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That was. That might be over too.
Fuck. Just cruises in general, you think? There's no way.
Maybe.
No, because people were signing up to go, because before the cruise ships, they shut down. But before they did, people were signing up to go because the prices were cheap. I think people have really short memories. Like this will be whatever it is for how long. And if everyone could just hang on, people will immediately go back to their old ways because we're pieces of shit. But that's a good thing about us too. You know?
Right. Yeah.
We just have to survive this downtime, however people do it.
Yeah, however people do it. And people have done it. So we'll keep, it'll be what it is. I was watching Jackie Fabulous's Instagram tonight.
I got to go on it.
You got to go on it. It was just so, first of all, she's just like, hey, I haven't checked in. How you guys doing? And at the end of it, she goes, yeah, I'm pretty drunk. And she shows the beverage she's drinking. And, but it was this whole thing about how, most of us will live, it'll happen. Just keep plugging along, try not to get too bummed out. And it was actually helpful, I thought.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
I mean, I know that, comics, people would have kept performing as long as the clubs were open because it's not for money. It's hardly ever for money, especially,
seriously.
It's
Carmen and I just literally going, what are we going to do? And that's when I came up with the burner thing and the Zoom thing. And then immediately a bunch of people already had this. I mean, it had to be the same idea, right? Because everyone's like, yeah, I need stage time. We just need stage time.
Yeah.
We also need money, and you can buy everybody's albums and definitely list the spins and stuff. Those pay something.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I got 3 emails and 1 phone call today.
Oh God.
People was like, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm all right. I'm traveling. I'm kind of a little twitchy, I'm just trying to get home. And then it's just sort of, we all have to talk each other down,
Yeah.
And so, you can't, because we all have to isolate, but we can't isolate, right? You got to find, you got to just go to an online therapy session or something. Yeah. They have them. They're free,
Mm-hmm.
So
I almost need to get offline. I don't need to be any more online. I went for a long walk today after the stands at Union Square, and I walked like 60 blocks. And,
Did you walk home from the stand?
No, that would have been like 130 blocks. But,
dozens of miles.
Yeah. Just walking. I just walked up Broadway through Times Square, and there was some people out, but it was really weird, and I felt weird being out. I'm like, ugh. But I was walking alone, and I wasn't touching anything or interacting with anybody, and I was all covered up, but
I did a lot of sort of eye contact, nodding, at the airports. And just like, hey, thanks for working. Yeah. You're getting me home kind of thing. And I tried to tip big because...
Yes, I've been doing that too.
Or just tip well. Yeah. Not big. What am I, Rockefeller?
Just adding a little bit. Just adding a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Also, I've noticed like when you have a mask on, you just look so much less friendly. And so I'm trying to like... smile more with my eyes just to so I don't look, well, I don't know, however it's not a friendly look having your mask on your face,
right, so you're trying to make up for it, other things. And I guess they're just doing takeout food now in most cities. Are they doing that in LA or in New York?
I think so. I think it's pretty close to that. All bars, everything's shutting down Tuesday morning for sure. And then,
okay.
I think the clubs are kind of folding. Either the stand emailed and said they were done tonight. And, I think maybe a couple will hang out. Didn't Jackie Fabulous say that the cellar was already?
The cellar was wrapping.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday they had canceled. So.
Yeah, which I think is shrewd. But my favorite email that I did get, I got from Paige over at the Improv.
Yeah.
She was like, we're going to stay open. We're going to spread people out. We're going to cap the thing. We're going to cut the room in half, and do all these things. We're not going to live in fear. Like literally 4 hours later, I got an email from her. That said, you know how I said we weren't going to live in fear? We're going to live in fear, and we're gonna wrap it up here for a second. We're just going to be better safe than sorry, right?
We should be afraid.
Yeah, it's okay to be safe. It's okay to live in defensively a little bit here.
Yeah,
it's what is necessary. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now. I'm just sort of. Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird because every time I come to New York, I try to have as many spots as possible, right? So they're always exhausting weekends, right? But I leave like feeling like I'm still a comic, And but every time I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if one night I just didn't have any spots and I just chilled the whole time in my bed. And I am now, and I hate it. I swear I have bed sores already. I'm not comfortable. It's awful. Not what I want. It's only fun not to do something if you could do it. Like if it's canceled, then you're not getting away with anything.
Right. Now you're being bossed.
Yes.
And nobody wants to be told what to do.
Yeah, and nothing else is open either, so it's not like I could do something else too. You really are.
Right.
This is a weird quarantine for all of us,
Yeah. In Milwaukee, the last day I was there, my nephews, I was wondering if the domes in Milwaukee. There's these 3 garden. What are those things called? The hothouse. They're domes.
Okay.
And they rotate them, and there's usually in April, and it is in April, so we didn't go, but they do a spring flower. It's for Easter. They do all spring flowers.
Okay.
And I wanted to go to the domes. And then I realized that it might be crowded. And this was before the attic, but it was, everything was happening so quickly. And so I said to my nephews, I was like, hey, I'm not going to go to the domes. I'm not going to a museum. And so hours later, I get a text from my nephew going, well, do you want to go see a movie? And I'm like, I do not. I also want to see a movie. I will watch a streaming movie. But I was talking to a friend of mine who works at Warner Brothers, and she was like, I don't know if there's enough money for them to not lay people off. And I was like, there is enough money. All of the corporations have a giant bag of money.
Yeah. I mean, Las Vegas, they shut down all of their hotels and casinos tonight.
All of them?
Yeah. Do you know?
Wow.
I mean, the amount. It's staggering if these people aren't getting unemployment to cover that stuff. That's just staggering.
Yes.
God, the federal government. I mean, I hope people realize what we really do need a strong federal government. You can't just dismantle everything and leave it to the states. I mean, what are people in Oklahoma doing? They've got a lunatic running their state. Jesus.
Yeah. And there's only 300,000 people, I think, in Oklahoma. But
wait, Oklahoma's population off the top of your head?
I used to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, fair amount.
Oh wow! So you looked up all that information?
Yeah, in the 90s. I once accidentally drove across. What is south of Illinois? What state is that? I forget.
Isn't it?
But whatever it was, I'm in.
Hey, that's your territory. You're supposed to know that. I don't know that.
I know.
I'm from upstate California.
It's and so instead of going to like St. Louis and hanging a left to go back to Minneapolis, Darlene Westcor and I were chatting so hard we drove across Missouri, and then we had to backtrack. It was a 7-hour error.
Oh my God!
Amazing!
I did that once. I went the wrong way on 80 for hours. And I'm like, where's my home? And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going towards Tahoe. How did I not realize that?
Oh my God, that is amazing. Yeah. It's, you should know we're at 53.
Oh, believe me, I'm tracking every second. I'm happy.
So, did you get stuff canceled, or did you have work?
I did.
Are you guys go back?
Okay, so we are off this next week, and then we're gonna work from home on the 23rd. The show's down. We have like something called gray weeks where we're working in the office, but we're not taping shows. So next week's a gray week. This week's a hiatus week. Remember I was telling you I couldn't get these 2 fucking weeks booked? Remember?
Oh, that's right.
I was complaining. I'm like, what the fuck? You know? And I had like maybes from a couple clubs and they never came through. And I guess, all right, I guess it worked out. They would have been canceled anyway. And then the rest of my stuff is in other hiatus weeks, which is more May and beyond, which I don't think anyone's canceling stuff, you know?
Not yet. Yeah. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But I had the wine gig was the first gig.
Oh no!
It was the first one to cancel.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, and then but he's got possible dates. I'm going to look at it this week. I'll have plenty of time.
Yeah.
In between the Great American Novel. All this, and then they canceled Wise Guys with Maria.
Oh.
And then they canceled. Where was I going? I was going somewhere. The heck was I? Oh, yeah. The next thing that may or may not be happening, I guess, would be Ann Arbor.
Right.
And the Chico.
When's Ann Arbor?
It's end of next month. Starting in the middle of next.
I don't know. You might be. Well, the CDC is saying.
In Toronto.
For 8.
But none of those are canceled yet. A month from now.
The CDC is saying for 8 weeks, everything and over 50 people's got to be canceled. That's what they're suggesting. So that's 2 months of almost every club. You know, unless they do limited seating and stuff, which, I mean, that would be, it seems once we get, I guess.
If they did limited seating, they'd have to do local comics just to make it
probably
worthwhile.
Well, good. That's good for local comics.
That's okay. Yeah.
And the other thing, like, I think they're saying this week is the one where we all have to really quarantine. We have to flatten the curve, right? I mean, it's going to be bad, but if everyone stays in this week, it won't be as catastrophic as it could be. So if that's the case, then maybe clubs can open, you know, in April. Everyone loses 3 weeks of money, and open on a limited basis and start to get people back in the habit of going out again. Maybe it won't be as horrific as it feels like it could be right now.
Well, it's just, I think there's a heaviness to the air where you're just like, I got to lighten, and I'm a fucking clown.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to make this not as heavy, right? And so, I'm feeling the pressure of it.
The thing is, but we have to have an audience. Nobody else has to have an audience. You can go to acting class and do great scenes in front of your acting teacher. We're the only ones that have to have a crowd. So we're highly fucked in terms of, maintaining, staying sharp, and it being, it's fine to make funny videos and stuff, but that's a different skill. It has nothing to do with being a stand-up comic. And I mean, it can help greatly, but it doesn't, it's
a different muscle.
Yes. Nothing takes the place of standing in front of strangers and making them laugh. And no, videos will help that muscle. We really have to be on stage a lot, So.
Right. I was thinking, if I can figure out how to use the Zoom thing, and I was thinking about doing a Thursday show, 2 on Friday and 2 on Saturday.
That's funny.
Just do like Venmo me $10. and you can hear my new hour. I'm also thinking of the Horcrux DVD that I have in my garage. I'm gonna make a push for people to buy my merch, obviously, because I have stamps.com. I won't have to go to the post office.
Yeah.
But I might.
Look at Jackie bragging about not having to go to the post office. You don't have to flex like that. Come on.
Also, is that the best freestamps.com ad ever?
Right.
It is.
It is kind of. And except for that stamps.com is actually a little expensive, and I only have one more year of free stamps.com.
Well, there goes that sponsorship, Jackie. Thanks.
Exactly. Where's that? Oh! I mean, if I was making good money and I did more mailing from home, let's just do the whole ad.
Think what you save on a free scale.
Right. But what was I? Oh, I was going to say that I think I'm going to put Horcrux up for free for people just to watch, because it's not streaming anymore. It's only on DVD. It was streaming on Comedy Film Nerds for a couple of years, because Horcrux was the album before my last album.
Yeah. And
that one where I paid to have a 4-camera HD shoot because supposedly Netflix was looking for content.
Oh my God.
And then I made a DVD.
Oh my God.
I don't know that but
Jackie, that sounded like it cost so much money.
It really did.
Oh.
That's fine. But I was thinking about it because if people are trapped in the house, and the Horcrux DVD here's another ad, it has 10 extra minutes from the Horcrux CD, that I could just put it on my YouTube and people could watch it. Mm-hmm. Because that might be fun for people who want to see more stand-up and are locked in their homes.
Are people going to want to see more stand-up? I think there's this limited amount of TV you could watch and then you start to go insane. And I'm not sure if adding tons more content is the solution. I have no idea.
We're Americans. I don't know how you were raised, but I was raised moments from that television. Hey, guess what? We're at an hour.
Oh my God. We did it. What a horrible week, and what an awful podcast.
All right. I love you both. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned. Audience supported.